Today is November 12th, 2025, and I've been sharing these lessons. So this one will be lesson number 3. And for this lesson, I want to start by saying, as I began to speak this message, there was somebody that was asking for help, and they were lost, and somebody pulled off to the side with their car and tried to help this person. And as I look back, that person is now continuing to walk along, but they were asking for directions. And this person, whoever it was, stranger, stopped and assisted them. And I saw that it was good, and I continued on. But as I came over here to speak this word, I saw these 2 bottles of water, which is interesting. And I came between these 2 bottles of water. And so, like, the things that God stirs in my spirit are things such as this. You know, perhaps these messages, these lessons that I'm preparing are to help those who are lost find their way, going this path where there is water. So in the Bible it says, all who are thirsty, come and drink of this water. It's in Revelation, in the last part of Revelation. It says, the Spirit and the bride say, come. They're inviting. They're asking you to come and drink of this water, those that would be lost. And so I want to share the lesson for today. And it's interesting because some of it is in the world news. I saw in the United States there was a post, like a newspaper post, and it said today they were printing, or whatever you call that. They're making the last coin, the last penny. Like the very last penny was going to the press or whatever to be made. And these are usually, it's like the Lincoln cent. And so the very last of these pennies was being cast. And it happened to be in the printing press, I think, was in Philadelphia. So they were creating this last penny today. And that had me to think of the verse in the Bible where it talks about your adversary. And let's say your adversary's got an issue with you and they're trying to take you to court. It says that it's good for you to agree with them quickly, or else you might be brought to the judge, taken by the officer, and cast into prison. And you will be required to stay there until you pay the very last amount, or penny, or whatever the translation says. You know, a small amount, every last penny. So that last penny being pressed today at the Philadelphian location. And this verse kind of resonated with me. So if you kind of tie this to those last couple of lessons that I gave, let's say you are my adversary or I am your adversary. We got to be careful to quickly agree. So let's say in the case, like where these ones were coming against somebody to stone them because of their sin. You know, perhaps I have to like quickly agree, like, yes, it is a sin. However, this is how Jesus dealt with the sin, and Jesus was willing to forgive, but to say, go and sin no more. Okay? So it's like still bringing that rebuke. Yes, it's a sin, but don't judge or condemn, or else you will be held, by the judge or held in the prison even until every last penny is paid. So kind of warning them, but also to the one who was like caught in the act and done the sinful thing, they should be given a chance to go and sin no more, and to desire to know the one who set them free, Jesus Christ. And so, this last penny thing, if you continue to argue and fight with these other ones, I just recommend you don't do it. You just say, he who is without sin, cast the first stone. Don't take up a big argument or a railing accusation against those who accuse. Just it's basically saying, the Lord rebuke thee, to them. If we have sin, we have sin. We don't want our sin to be exposed, but to be forgiven. And Jesus is the one who does that. And if we divide ourselves from Jesus, the one who doesn't come to condemn but to save, if we divide ourselves from him, then our sin might be remaining. It says if you say you can see, then your sin remains, but if you would be blind, then you should have no sin. There's some strange verses that Jesus gave us, but it gives you some understanding. If you're looking around with like a judging eye, you need to pluck out your judging eye and recognize that you also have sin. And Jesus is willing to forgive you of that sin, but he also asks of you to love others as he has loved you, to continue to give forgiveness just as he has given you forgiveness. He has shown you forgiveness. And you might have to find yourself one day just rebuking others by the Lord rebuke thee, or he who is without sin cast the first stone, very humbly. But don't divide yourself from this Jesus Christ, the truth that God so loved the world that he gave Jesus, that if we would believe in him, that we would have everlasting life. But if we depart from him or separate ourselves from him and desire to take judgment into our own hands, then we're not abiding in him. We're not staying in his vine and bringing forth those good fruits. We want to be found worthy of him by being like him, having ourselves be of that same seed, where we also don't come to judge and condemn others, but to show them a way or a path that they could escape from the judgment. Okay, and that only path to escape from the judgment, that the penalty of your sin is death, the only way to escape from that judgment is through Jesus Christ. He has already paid the penalty, has already paid the price. For those of us who would believe in him, we could become united and one with him. We could be of that vine, and God desires for us to bring forth fruit, and that fruit would be good. The fruits of the Spirit would be good. There would be a beautiful thing in God's eyes as we continue to hold fast to his Son, Jesus Christ, and try to unite ourselves with his purpose, becoming one with his Spirit, the accepted one by God. Let it be for God's glory. All right, God bless you in Jesus' name.